Hi, I'm Shannon from houseimprovements.com, and today I'm going to be installing a compressed air piping system here in my own garage workshop. So I've picked up a kit that I found that seemed to have all the right pieces in it pretty much for what I needed to do for basically a small garage like I've got. So that's what I did. I picked up the kit. The kit comes with a nylon piping. This particular kit is 1/2 inch. So it's nylon piping. It's designed for compressed air, so there shouldn't be any fear in it blowing up or anything. This is what it's made for. It's also designed, this particular kit is designed for up to 150 psi. So in your average garage, home workshop sort of thing, you're not likely to ever be using any more high pressure than that. So I should be fine there. So we've got the piping. It also is a kind of a push fit sort of connection system, so there's no tools involved in actually putting the pipe into the fittings. So it comes with a few of the push fit type threaded fittings. There's some elbows that are a push fit. It also comes with, this particular kit comes with some drains, so this is for moisture drains. You've got the aluminum block here, which is basically your manifold. It doesn't come with the couplers, so depending on the type of air tool system you've got, you'll need to purchase some couplers. It comes with some of these offset elbow connections that thread in there. This is just another one of these straight couplers there. It came with a couple plugs as well. In these manifolds there's some holes that you may not need, so it's got a plug in it to look after any of the ones you don't need. It comes with its own little set of cutters for the piping itself, so that's kind of nice that they've included that. So I think that's the main things that it all comes with. There are accessories you can buy separately. There's some tees and different things, or if you need extras of some of these other parts. So most of the retailers that sell this particular system generally have some of the accessories to go with it. So in my case, what we're setting up, and there's a little bit of a bit of a schematic here right on the box itself. So in my case, I'm going to have a manifold set up close to the compressor, so the compressor will be hooked to it, and then I'm coming up the wall and across over to one more outlet in the other end of the shop. So but as you can see, they've got all kinds of different setups. This is actually their compressor setup here, but it just gives you some ideas on what you could do with it. But you can pretty much do what you need to as long as you've got all the right accessories. So to start off with, I've already set up the manifold over at the compressor, but we will take a look at it. I'll just give you a quick run through there. I've ran some pipe on the wall, so basically I've got it over to my main outlet point, and that's what we're going to really finish off with today. So what I did is I just kind of put my basic pieces together, figured out what I need on each manifold, and this is the one manifold here that I've got ready to go right now. I did make the mistake when I first started out. I didn't read the instructions, and my first manifold I put it all together using like a thread seal, just a Teflon tape. Now, once I read the instructions, they actually don't recommend that. And I'm assuming it may have something to do with, as you're threading it in with the tape on there, some little fibers of that tape might get dislodged in the airstream. So then you've got kind of a projectile inside there that could blow into your tool or your eye or whatever. So anyways, I took that one apart and got rid of the tape. And we're just using pipe dope. This one over on this one side has a whole list of different things it's compatible with. One of them is compressed air, and it's compatible with the pipe and everything, so we should be good using that. So that's what I'm using. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take this all apart and put it together. These fittings, just these ones here, came with some kind of thread lock or something, right? There's a white substance in the threads, so I'm assuming it's some kind of thread lock or seal. I'm still going to put a little bit of the dope on it as well, just to be sure, but there is something on there that came right from the factory that way. I've already put the plug in the back. I wanted to be sure I did that so I didn't forget it. So we'll just start out here with each of these fittings. And you don't need hardly any of this at all. I just need to dribble a little bit on a few threads right at the beginning, and then as it turns and threads in there, it kind of works its way around. I mean, it's not taking up really much of a space. So you can see there, I just added a little bit on near the bottom threads. I should be able to start it by hand here into the block, into the aluminum block. And I'm just going to thread it in. Take an adjustable wrench, and I'm having my coupler facing down, so I'm just kind of orientating that so it's straight and facing down a little bit if I can, something like that. So there's that one. This fitting, this coupler is actually off my compressor, so it's already got a little bit of goop on the ends too, but I didn't need it on the compressor, and I can kind of show you that when we go over there. So I'm just reusing it at this point. So it will thread onto there. So we'll just get that making some contact. Okay, so we've got that on there. We've got the drain. They send these little drains, which in most air systems you're going to get a little bit of moisture. Usually this shop's been pretty good up till now, so I'm not putting in a water trap or like a air dryer or anything like that, or a water, what do they call it? Like a water, I think it's called a water trap. You can put it in line to actually collect the water and drain it. But this system does include these drains that you can put at the end of every run, so if you are getting moisture in the lines, you can at least open up and kind of flush it through the system. So I'm just going to turn this around again, getting it tight and orientating it the way I want. Get a little more out of it, but I have to use 2 wrenches. I kind of like this system with these big aluminum blocks. It actually works out quite nicely. It's not flimsy at all. You know, you can actually get on there and reef it with the wrench a little bit if you have to get things tight and not worry about breaking the housing. So I definitely like that about this system. So we got that. I went probably a little too far. See if I can just back it off a little bit. There, I'm pretty close. Okay, so this will be on the wall. We've got our drain, we've got our coupler. We just need our fitting in the top here for the pipe to hook into. So put a little bit of that on there. Thread that in. So again, like I said, they don't recommend using the Teflon tape products, so we're not. Okay, so all this stuff in my case is just extra. I don't need it. Now I'm at the point, get on there. Now I'm at the point we can probably go over to the compressor and have a look. Another thing that wasn't included in the kit, although they do have some as accessories that you can buy, is just some kind of clip to attach to the wall. I wouldn't recommend using anything metal when you're dealing with a nylon line like this, because you will have a little bit of movement as it's, as time goes on, and the metal could cut through it. So I found just these little plastic lines, they might be used for plumbing or holding loom in an electrical system or something, but they're just a nice fit for this. This is just a piece of the piping, so I can mount that easily with the screw hole that's there, and it's nylon itself, so it shouldn't affect the pipe or dig into it or anything. So you just have to pick some of those up, however many you need. So I think what we'll do, we'll leave this for now. We'll go over to the compressor, and I'll just show you the main compressor end manifold setup, and then we'll come back over to the other end where this one's going to go and show you how easy it is to do it. Okay, so we've come over here to my actual compressor location, and it's kind of in the way to really see what's going on behind it, but if you look here, this is where my regulator is here coming off the compressor. I put a valve in just to be able to turn the air on and off, and then I put a flexible hose from the compressor back to the manifold on the wall. That's important. You want, otherwise if this was a rigid line, you're going to get vibration from the compressor running, you know, kind of running through the whole system. So it's important to throw in a rubber line there. I'm just going to pull this out of the way if I can. I don't have a lot of hose on here, so hopefully I can get it kind of maneuvered out of our way a little bit more. There. Okay, so like I said, this yellow line is just, that's the feed coming from the compressor. And you can see we've got another one of those manifolds right there, mounted directly onto the wall. The yellow line comes in. I threw another coupler over here so I can run, you know, if I want to run another hose from this area, I can. So I've got a coupler just like you watched me basically assemble over there. And then our blue line, which is going up to feed our remote location. And you can see the line. I kind of did it because you can see I had to work around a bunch of stuff, so I did it off camera. And I've just got it strapped simply right to the wall. I put one of those straps at every stud location. It's yet to be seen right now. I'm kind of wondering, you can see here where I've got a little bit of a, you know, a little bit of a loop or a droop in it. I don't know whether that might collect water over time. I'm thinking it won't because it's not a real big sag, but I'll have to kind of monitor that and see over time if it does anything. But then as we get around to here, this is where this general area here is where my other manifold's going to be. And then I've got a hose coming up from my hose reel that's going to hook into that. And I've got a hose reel below this table. So we'll go basically reset the camera, and we're going to come back to this location. I'm just going to show, you know, finishing this line off. Okay, so we're back over here at our remote location. Actually, just a second ago, you see me refer to this area here on the wall. I was wrong. I'm moving over this one more stud here. So I've kind of determined I want the height of the manifold to be somewhere in this range. And I purposely haven't hooked this pipe up solid yet because I'm just trying to get it out of the way here. Just because we need a bit of access to it to get it hooked into here. So I'll just leave that off for right now. So we're heading for this general direction. I want to mount it right into a stud, so I'm just going to find the edges of my stud here. Okay, so somewhere in this range is going to be the center. Now, unfortunately, these holes are spaced too wide to mount, you know, all 4 screws right onto a stud. So I guess if you really needed this to be super firm, you know, you might want to mount a piece of plywood onto a stud and then mount this to the plywood. In my case, you know, it's not like you should be really yanking on this or anything, so I think it's going to be all right. I'm just mounting one side here right through the drywall to the stud, so I can always change it afterwards if I need to. Something else I did is I modified their block just a little bit. These holes on the front weren't countersunk like they are now. They were just like this on the back. You know, if you're going to use a panhead screw or bolt or something, that would look all right. I'm using a flathead screw, so I just wanted them countersunk so they look a little more flush. So shouldn't be a big deal. So I'm going for this height, kind of lining it up with the center of my stud. There's one. That should be more than solid enough. And my other accessory hose fits or reaches to it, so that shouldn't be a problem. So now the next thing is I just want, you know, I want that piping to come along here. I think what I'll do, I'll attach a couple of the these anchors here up top, and then I can get an idea for my length and cut that hose off and insert it. Probably should have these on before the safety crew gets after me. Let's go somewhere in here. So I guess when you're planning out your route for your pipe, I would think you probably want to keep it away from any direct heat sources or anywhere where it could get punctured as well. So just kind of consider that while you're planning out your route. Since I got this, I might as well use it. Just kind of run that around like that. I can fine tune this afterwards. I just want to get it kind of close to where I need to be. So with this fitting, it's much like the plumbing push fit type connectors. We need basically an inch of this hose to be down inside of there. So, and I've got a little bit of play there, so I'm just going to say approximately here. That's where I'm going to cut it off. They send this little cutter. It seems to work pretty good. I've only had to cut a couple little pieces, but it basically just goes on the pipe and just squeeze it down like that. And it makes a pretty clean, nice square little cut on the end. Okay, so hold your finger at where you figure about an inch is, or measure it out and put a pencil mark, just because you want to be sure that this is going down in there, the full inch, so that you know that it's right into the teeth. And that's about all there is to it. I'll probably put one more of these guys. Oops. Proper direction. We'll probably put one or two of these in here just to keep this from flopping around. So I'll maybe do that, and then I'll fire up the compressor and we'll give it a try. Okay, so we fired up the compressor. Actually, it was full air. I just had to turn the valve on. And right off the start, I thought I had a leak because I had forgot to close this little drain here. So anyways, came over here, closed the drain up. Everything seems to be good. Everything's holding. You could do a water check if you wanted to. A bit of dishwasher soap or dishwashing soap in a bit of water and run around all your connections, but for the most part you should be pretty good to go. We'll just okay, so that airs up my my reel down below the bench down there, and should be good to go. So it's, you know, not that major of a system to put in. I don't know, I don't think I would have spent maybe an hour and a half at the very most getting things kind of figured out and prepped up. But it's all done. You have the option with this system, like I said, if I wanted to expand it now, I could put a T in or whatever and run another line wherever I needed to go. This particular kit comes with, I believe it was 100 feet, and I used maybe, I don't even think I used hardly 30 feet, maybe 20 feet. So I've definitely got enough line to either do another building or maybe run another line to the other side of the shop or something like that. So anyways, other options for this sort of thing. If you're going to run a lot heavier pressures, then you probably want to go to steel pipe, where it's actually all threaded and metal fittings and everything. You really want to stay away from like the white plastic type lines. I know they're made for water. They're not made for this kind of pressure. And some places do get away with it for quite a while, but when it breaks, it just sends shards of plastic everywhere, and somebody's going to get hurt. But this particular product is made for this, so you know, I can't see it being a problem. It's obviously been tested up to 150 psi, and in your average shop, you know, if you're using nailers and that sort of thing, you're generally only running, you know, 90 pounds or 100 pounds probably at the most. So it should be more than plenty safe enough for in here. So hopefully this gave you an idea of an option, at least, if you wanted to do something like this, and hopefully it helped you out. If you liked what you've seen here, just check the little like icon down below there, the little thumbs up. That'd help us out a little bit. And you can also go to our website, check out our forum there, as well as the articles we have. And you're right here right now on our YouTube channel. You can subscribe to the channel and go and check it out and see all the other videos we have. Thanks for watching.